Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics. Today I'm at this really cool castle-looking hotel for a comic book show. I'm at the Southern New Hampshire Comic Book Bash in Nashua, New Hampshire. I heard it's a great old-fashioned comic book show. We're on a very tight timetable today, so this should be a quick one, but I think it's gonna be fun. Let's go check it out. So we are VIPs. We have some, yeah, this is Jack, by the way. Didn't want to be on camera, but we have some special comic books. Not sure what these are, different variants, so this will be exciting to open up later. And I'll talk to the coordinator, Randy, a little later on. But first off, we got my good friend Josh from Buzz Comics. Well, hey, Josh.
Hey, guys.
I'll come back and say hi. How you doing?
Good. Rocking and rolling.
And here with old friend Nick from Nick's Comic Strip out of Danvers, Massachusetts.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm all right, you know.
All right, I'm here with Chinmo from 3 Men in the Basement as well.
What's going on, guys?
So let's start digging. You guys always got great stuff. All right, so this says wall books, Nick.
There's some Wally Walls in here.
Oh, we got
There's
a
little
first,
beeps there.
first Echo.
Yep. All right.
X-Men
Got
reprint.
some original art here that I got at the last show.
Oh, yeah.
Wiles Ronin. Hi, Carl.
That's very cool, actually. Awesome.
Yeah, it's fun, you know. Just things.
Some lead? Like, Star Hunter or something. Well, we got to do these.
How many times do you think you've seen my fight today?
What the?
3 times already.
Right.
What is happening?
I think should more be armed.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
I get 20.
Armchair. I see what you're
I
saying.
got it. He's no slouch. He came prepared.
Love these old Captain Midnights. It's so cool. It's a weird cover, though, huh?
20. Here you go, my friend. Thank you very much. Enjoy. Right, right. Oh, here we go. Gonna sign in that thing.
Yeah. There you go.
How you doing, pal? Come on in, dive in, don't be shy. We got dollar books, your books, my books.
Oh, yeah. First, Ted Cord Blue Beetle is in this book here. Here we go. First cameo of the Living Tribunal. There he is. Very cool. I think this is first Muse.
Clapper.
Cool. This is the first cover appearance of Muse. Creepy looking character. Very cool.
We miss you back here.
All right. It's a pretty big show, guys. And there's my son.
That's that 20 of them. He respected. Oh, honey.
I knew you'd find the magic cards, Jack.
This is Assassin's Creed. Yep. Yep. That was Assassin's Creed.
Can I see that X-Men 133? See the condition of it?
Yeah.
There.
It is a lower grade one. That's why it's on the sheet.
I assumed. Oh, yeah. A lot of spine ticks. Still always an awesome cover to see.
is.
Moving Pictures Comics, always my favorite super high wall. I'm always amazed by how high you get it up there. Do you have a ladder?
No, I stack boxes.
Okay. I was wondering how you pulled it off. That's pretty awesome.
Well, I'm 6'5", so
Oh, that helps. That helps. All right, here with Bob. Hey, Bob. Let me see. Hi. Hi.
Better picture.
Yes, much more photogenic than you. Yes. TMNT number 3. It's in nice shape too. 225. And it's not the variant, but it's still a pretty nice copy.
No, it's the first printing.
First printing. Awesome.
One. I don't even. I think I have one in my own collection. It was like a program that has him signed on it.
People love that book.
They do.
Open it up and have a signature is fantastic. And I,
These are all Brimfield?
yeah.
All right, so this is all the Brimfield stuff that you guys stole from me. I'm kidding. I'm here with Joel's Comics here. I was just saying, the problem with this show is I know too many people here. I spend way more time talking than looking at comic books. But you know I like the X-Men. Always a cool book.
I picked up this giant stack of Elvira's
Oh yeah? 'Tis the season for those.
from Claypool.
Oh yeah?
It's like the longest. This thing went over 100 issues.
Oh yeah. I gotta look at your, it's almost Halloween, you gotta look at this book. That's crazy. Well. So here we have a reprint, facsimile of one of my favorite Golden Age books, Mask number 2. Mask number 1 is also awesome, but Mask 2 is one of my favorites. And again, if you just want the cover, a facsimile is a pretty good choice. You still get the art without the price, but man, I would love to have that original, huh? Very cool. So these are 20% off slabs. These are all signed. Oh, look at that, Jack. That's the original Marvel Masterpieces Series 1 hologram, signed by Joe Jusko. One of my favorites. 9.6. Pretty cool. That's funny.
Tales from.
I might get one to donate. All right, here we go. Signed by Jim Rugg. Very cool. We get some foreign. Oh, look at that. Cool. Hey, that's normal for a comic show.
No.
Right? No. The corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, first Silver Age Riddler. Always a cool book. I love that.
Interesting everything.
Really?
Love your content, bro.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I do like that. Ramatut's pretty cool. I always like that Magneto cover. Alright, so we got some old Turtle stuff, which I'm into right now. This is the reprint of issue 3. Very early April O'Neil, I believe. Nice. Michelangelo. Raphael. Tellolino. That'd be a pretty cool set to own.
But it presents
Real
really
nice.
well.
I did press it too. It's nice and flat.
Set 2. Oh, actually, yeah, look at that. I need an upgrade for this book. Mine has a damaged corner. First, Moira McTaggart. So, I am really short on time. I have a wedding to go to, so this is going to be the quickest trip to a comic show, which is a bummer because this is a really awesome show. I've seen about half of it. So let's do our final rounds, grab some books, and get out of here. So we have sketch covers. We call them sketch covers. They are full, full art. Beautiful.
I got the ink on the back still.
Oh, wow.
Kingpin action.
Fantastic. Beautiful work.
I did one of these to front and back.
All of them front and back?
Yeah. Yep, every one of them.
What's on the back of Jugs there? Oh, yeah, nice. Can you get a Wolverine?
Saber tooth on the back of that one, I think.
Wow, excellent. You've done all these.
Yes,
It's
sir.
all you.
Yeah, and the canvases that you see in the front, two are all done.
The canvases? Oh, yeah. Wow. Some zombies.
You can take those as stickers.
All right, so I'm here with Boss Kong.
Yep.
And this is all your work, mixed medium, incredible work. And this is your graphics company you go through?
Yes, sir.
And I couldn't decide between Venom and Wolverine, but as an X-Men collector, and the race claws are glow in the dark.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, I gotta pick this up for my collection, dude. That is awesome. So I never even had a chance to go down the middle aisle, which kind of stinks, but I gotta go. Oh man, so much good stuff that I'm gonna miss out on, but we gotta go. Gotta look at Tim's stuff though before I go. All right, I have to look at this. Enterprise Comics, Savage Tales #1, first appearance of Man-Thing. Very cool. 20% off, huh? It's tempting. We do have some damage, but still a decent price if we want to get into one of these. Awesome. All right, and I have to show these on the way out. The big boy books. Wow. Always love that. Batman 11 cover is amazing. That is an actual restored #1. All right, so this isn't just a restored Cap #1. This is actually signed by Jack Kirby on the inside. That's insane. That's unbelievable. That's only a Superman #1. And only a Batman #1. Nothing here to see. Awesome stuff, guys. Landry Pop Auctions. You guys have some pretty decent stuff.
Thank you.
All right, I gotta show this. It's an original Herb Trimpe Wolverine sketch. That is unbelievable. All right, guys, I am here with the coordinator of this awesome show, Randy. And Randy, you sold this show so great to me earlier. You said you wanted a classic comic book show.
Well, what's your thought?
This is exactly what it is. It's in a great hotel, but it's all comic books pretty much. Fantastic dealers, great deals, and it's awesome. You got captured the spirit of those old '90s comic shows I remember as a kid.
That was, I wanted that throwback. We had to cease this 3 years ago because they tore down the hotel I was using.
I heard that.
That wasn't very helpful.
No.
But anyways, we brought it to the Sheraton in Nashua, and the response is, my response is big thank you. This is a true comic show. You won't find Holly Berry signing inside of these doors, but you'll find comics, more comics, comic art, a few comic guests, like the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, C.B. Cebulski was here today.
There you go.
So I hope to continue it. I'll see how things go when the dust settles and all that. Watch social media. Check out SNH Comic Bash, Southern New Hampshire, but SNH Comic Bash. But thank you.
Oh, thank you. Awesome show, man. Great.
All right.
Thanks. I'll see you again soon.
All right.
Can't
Enjoy
wait to
your
come back.
wedding.
I will. Can't wait to come back next year.
All right.
All right, guys, that's all I have time for. I have a wedding to go to, but I ended up with a much bigger stack of comic books than I thought I was going to. Let's go back to the house. I'll show you everything I got. So there you go. That was the Southern New Hampshire Comic Bash in Nashua, New Hampshire, put on by my buddy Randy, who was aiming for a good old-fashioned 1990s era comic book show. You know, the ones that were in a hotel, pretty much all comic books, not much else, all killer, no filler, so to speak. To that end, it was a smashing success. There was some of the best comic vendors in all of New England there, and I was really looking forward to this show. But you guys know me, I am a super busy guy, and I actually had a wedding to go to later in the day. I only had 2 hours at the show. I thought I'd only be able to get like 1 or 2 comic books, but I actually ended up with a pretty good stack of books. So before I show you what they are, you know the drill. If you want to support the channel, head on down, hit that like button. Follow me on Instagram under Lunch Money Comics IG, and make sure you check my description where I will link to all the people I mentioned in this video. And hey, if you are in New England, definitely look for the next Southern New Hampshire Comic Bash next year. So first up, when we arrived, my buddy Randy considered me and my son Jack as VIPs. We both got a bag full of comic books. My book that I got was a Josie and the Pussycats, cool cover by Jim Rugg, who I'll actually be talking about in a few minutes. And Jack got an Archie comic, which is good, so he can actually read this. We both also got this Turn a New Page in Fear with Hill House Comics. This is a DC horror comic sampler. We each got one of these as well. So thank you, Randy, for these. That's pretty cool. First stop that I went to was actually Nick's comic strip. And Nick is out of Danvers, Massachusetts. Now, here's the thing, guys. Because I see a lot of the same vendors at these shows, I actually try to mix it around a bit. I don't like to talk about the same people over and over again in my videos. But Nick has fantastic prices, and I was looking through his back issue bins. And yeah, I got some pretty good comics I just really couldn't say no to. And this first book I want to show you is one that normally I think I would caution you from getting, because I'm not big into speculation, especially speculation driven by TV or movies. However, it's okay to make an exception if the deal is really good. And that's what we have here. So this is a Daredevil number 11. This is from volume 5 in 2016. And this is actually the first appearance of the villain, Muse. Yeah, now Muse is an artist, kind of think of like Banksy, who also is a murderer. And he finds a way to combine his two passions together. It's a family show. I'm not going to get into the details of that, but it is kind of gruesome. Not only that, he is a super villain. He is super fast, super strong, and definitely most problematic for Daredevil. He's hard to detect with your senses, and senses is sort of Daredevil's thing. He's hard to hear coming, so he's a big problem for Daredevil, and he's also really, really creepy. The reason why this is sort of in everyone's mind right now is because Muse is going to be one of the villains in the upcoming Disney Plus show, Daredevil Born Again. So I'm actually really looking forward to seeing this character, who is pretty darn creepy, in live action, see how they pull it off. Now, like I said, this is a hot book right now because everyone knows he's going to be in that show, and this book can go for quite a bit of money. The reason why I got it was Nick had a price of $20, which I think is definitely under fair market value, and I like Daredevil enough, and I'm curious enough about this character, I wanted to get this book. However, guys, like I said, if I were you and you want this book, I would just wait until after 2025 when Born Again comes out. This book will come down to earth. It is a modern book. It shouldn't be too much money, but for $20, absolutely worth picking up. Happy that I did. The other book I got from Nick is this. This is Strange Tales number 157 from 1967, and there are 2 stories in here. The first one features Nick Fury, and the art and story are done by Jim Steranko, who I like very much. He also did the cover. The second story is one by Stan Lee and Marie Severin. It's actually a Doctor Strange story, and the reason why I wanted this book is because on the very last panel of this book, you get the first appearance, a cameo, of the Living Tribunal. Now, I've mentioned this on my channel in the past. I love the cosmic beings of the Marvel Universe. I had those trading cards when I was a kid, and I love their stats on the back. And the Living Tribunal is, in terms of power, he's one of the most powerful beings in the entire Marvel multiverse. Yeah, most of the different universes in Marvel all have like their own copy of a lot of these cosmic entities like Eternity or Ego or Galactus. But Living Tribunal is sort of like the judge and arbiter of the entire multiverse. He's incredibly powerful. His first appearance is right here. A better known issue, though, is the next one. This is sort of the money book. This is issue 158, a book I bought in the past. This is the full first appearance and cover appearance of the Living Tribunal you see right there. I have this book already, but because I'm a completionist, guys, I needed the first cameo as well. Nick gave me a little bit of money off of this. I got this one for also $20. So $40 for both of these. Absolutely worth it. Again, if you find yourself in the Boston area and you're looking for a great comic and toy shop, look no further than the Nick's comic strip. All right, this next vendor, I don't remember who this was. I don't know exactly the name of this vendor, but they had some fantastic comic books, including a couple boxes of like more like trade paperbacks and independent comics and brochures and magazines. Interesting stuff. And I found this. This is Rambo 3.5. It's a mini comic book, and it's done by Jim Rugg, who also signed this book. And in talking to the vendor who sold this to me, there were several copies in his box that were a different color paper. He says Jim Rugg prints these off himself, goes to these different comic book shows, and he sells out pretty quickly. People really like these little Rambo comics. Now, I'm not a huge Rambo fan or even really a Jim Rugg fan, but the reason I got this is I thought it would be a perfect thing to send into Heroes for Heroes. Now, Heroes for Heroes, I've mentioned on my channel in the past. This is a comic book auction that's going to happen Veterans Day weekend, which is the beginning of November here in the United States, and it's to raise money for Mission 22, which in turn is to raise money for the mental health awareness of our veterans. It's a fantastic cause. They're going to be auctioning off tons of incredible comics and comic-related things. I've mentioned it in the past, I have a couple things I want to send in. I thought this was just one more thing I could send in, hopefully raise a little bit more money. Once again, guys, I'll put information down in my description. If you want to check out this auction to buy things, definitely show up and do so. It's for a good cause. But if you want to donate some stuff, you still have a little bit of time. I'll put links down to the guys who are collecting that stuff. Absolutely, guys, a very cool cause. Look for this if you do show up at that auction. The other thing I got from that guy, I think out of the same box, was this. This is a Mexican, so Spanish language, Spider-Man comic. You see, 1, it's large format, 2, it's from the 1990s, and 3, it is entirely in color on the inside, which is a plus, and it's a fantastic cover by Eric Larson, featuring a very Eric Larson Spider-Man going up against Boomerang. We get some Venom up here, and what's really cool is actually multiple stories in this comic book. One of them is, I think, ASM 344. That's the first appearance of Cardiac and Cletus Cassidy, who later becomes Carnage. You actually see him get a piece of the symbiote on him, and basically sets the stage for him becoming Carnage. It is also a book in here. It's a crossover with the X-Men. So super cool, guys. I collect foreign language comics as well. I honestly don't have enough Spanish language, which is kind of sad, honestly. But these larger format ones are even better. You get the full-size art. You get them in color. They're fantastic to look at, even if I don't understand the language. Very cool comic book, guys. Happy to pick it up. I got each of these for $10. $10 each. Great, great deal. This next book is a pretty awesome one because it represents one of the greatest Golden Age books of all time, one of my favorite Golden Age covers of all time, but don't get too excited. This is The Mask #2, originally from 1945, featuring a very famous L.B. Cole cover. However, guys, the original Mask, 1 and 2 by L.B. Cole, is one of the most expensive books in the Golden Age, because it's one of the most beloved. So you see, this is a facsimile. This is a reprint of this book. So Mask 1 and 2, that was basically the entire run. They were basically anthologies of tons of stories by the publishing company back then, which was Rural Home in Croydon. I had to actually look that up. Again, it was an anthology of multiple, usually kind of horror-themed stories from 1945. And L.B. Cole did the covers of both the issues. And both of them are very, very interesting. I'll actually put a picture of the first issue right here. You see, they're very interesting. Even though they're 1945, they almost have a psychedelic feel that you get from the 60s. They almost look like you could throw a black light on them, right? Very psychedelic, and for me, honestly, looks a little bit like stained glass. And because of that, although I'm not a big Golden Age collector, both these issues, Mask 1 and 2, I love the covers. And if I ever had the money, I would definitely want these in my collection. But I don't have the money, and they're really expensive. So I'm going to go for a second best, which is a very high-grade facsimile. This was published in 2023, and what's really cool about it is a lot of times you get facsimiles and they are reprints of the older book, but they are still modern in a lot of ways. They have, maybe modern ads or the layout's different. This is almost an exact replica of the original, the ads and everything. It looks just like it is from 1945, but it's much higher quality paper and cardstock, so you can't really mistake that it is a facsimile, but it's really cool to flip through this and be able to read it and see it as it was originally published in 1945. Fantastic, awesome comic book. I got this from my buddy Joel. Joel's Comics, he's been on my channel several times, and he sold this to me pretty much at cost at $15. Even though it's a facsimile, guys, I love this cover so much. I'm happy to add to my collection. Very cool. So this comic right here is one that I already own, but I had to get another copy for reasons I'll explain in a second. It is this. This is the all-new, all-different X-Men number 96. That's what they called the Uncanny X-Men before they actually called it Uncanny X-Men. It's from 1975. This is the third issue penned by Chris Claremont in the X-Men run. Art on the inside is by Dave Cockrum. Cover is by Marie Severin and Sal Buscema. And this is known as the first appearance of Moira McTaggart. Long-time X-Men ally. She actually shows up in this issue as the housekeeper, but she's actually a brilliant geneticist, and she knows a ton about mutants, and she was a longtime member of the sort of European-based team. She's originally Scottish, so she was part of the Muir Island X-Men. She was associated with Excalibur, and for, again, 4 decades in Marvel X-Men comic books, she really was just an ally of the X-Men and a love interest of Professor X. Until the last 5 or 6 years or so, because of the Jonathan Hickman run on X-Men, the Krakoan era, they completely kind of change her whole backstory, and it's revealed that she's actually a mutant with the power of reincarnation. Every time she dies, she's reborn with a new timeline over and over and over again. And long story short, although she is a longtime X-Men ally, she slowly kind of got soured in trying to save the X-Men over and over and over again, save the mutants from the inevitable human beings and machines that destroy them. And spoiler alert, she sort of went bad. It was an interesting take on the character. It definitely was interesting. I liked that Hickman run because it was different, but I did not like the fact they undid so many years of her history. I will always remember her as the one I knew from these comics here. She's also appeared in live action a couple times in the movies, most recently played by Rose Byrne, who I think is a fantastic actress and did a great job, even though she didn't have the accent, which kind of bothered me. Anyways, guys, a very cool book. I got this from a guy named Matt who's out of New Hampshire. Really, really cool guy. Like I said, I already own this book. Why did I get another one? Well, I collect, obviously, all the X-Men books, including the Chris Claremont run, which I recently finished. And I'm sort of in the area now where I am upgrading existing copies. Here's my other copy, and you notice one thing wrong with it. There's a big chip in the upper corner that bugs me every time I look at it. So I wanted an upgrade. I got this for a great price. I got it for $45. It's in pretty high grade. Thank you, Matt, for giving me such a great deal on it. And you guys know the drill. When you get an upgrade, you sell or trade the old one to pay for the new one. Happy to do that, guys. Very cool book. Also, I'm a big fan of yellow covers. I don't know why. It's awesome. Okay. The last thing I got is very sort of uncharacteristic, I think, of Lunch Money Comics. But sometimes you see something and you just have to have it. I said most of the stuff at this show was comic books. There were a few artists there and people selling other things. And this was one of them. I looked down at this guy's art. Basically, he was working on stuff that was, on blank sketch covers, mixed medium, Marvel characters, and it just jumped out to me. It blew me away. So the name of this guy, first and foremost, his name is John, but he goes by the name of Boss Kong. His graphics company is called Silverback Graphics. So we got a gorilla motif kind of going here. And the comic books he makes, well, they look like this. So this is a blank sketch variant cover of Wolverine. I think 310 is what he said, and which would have been blank on both sides, except for just the trade dress up there. And he uses mixed medium. He uses different paints and pens and glow-in-the-dark materials. Even uses some sort of like foil paper you see at the top to make this amazing art. Now, there was a couple pieces of art that he did that really actually jumped out to me more than this. There was an amazing Venom that he had. He had just finished an incredible Black Cat. But as an X-Men collector, I just felt like this Wolverine fit my collection way better. Not only is there Wolverine on the front, guys, we have his arch nemesis, Sabretooth, on the back. And if you throw a black light on this, not only does it fluorescent black light, but Wolverine's claws, which are raised actually glow in the dark. They phosphoresce. So they glow green a little bit longer after you shut the lights off. It's a very cool book, guys, and a very interesting addition to my collection. Now, I always say this, guys, try to support your local comic book creators and artists whenever you can. It's so easy when you go to these shows just to look at art and be like, oh, that's cool, and walk away. But this guy clearly put so much time and effort into these amazing covers. He was asking $50 for these. I was happy to pay him that for this. I think it's absolutely worth, all the work he put into it. I think it looks really cool. It'll look great somewhere in my collection behind me, and I wanted to support him. So I'm going to put some links to his information down in my description. Make sure you check him out. He's on Instagram. You can also buy his artwork there if there's anything that really jumps out to you. And what I'm hoping I can do is commission him to do maybe a Nightcrawler for me. I have a pretty good collection of original Nightcrawlers appearing on my wall behind me. Maybe he can do a Nightcrawler for me. I'm going to ask him. Support your local artists whenever you can. So that's it, guys. Head on down to the comments and let me know which of my pickups you like the best, and do you think I paid a fair price? And in the meantime, I hope you keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon.